Hey there. Let me tell you a little story. It starts when I'm in sixth grade. I've known I've had dyslexia for 3 years at this point, and I'm currently 3 reading levels behind my peers. I didn't like reading very much, and dyslexia definitely played a part in that. That same year, though, a movie came out. Percy Jackson, the Lightning Thief. And while I hate to say these words now, I really like that movie. I don't know what it was, but I really liked the movie. And my parents knew that it was based off a book series, so they bought me the book series in hopes that it would get me reading. I cracked it open, the very first book, and well, I hated it. I hated the Percy Jackson series. It definitely had mainly to do with the fact that it was reading, and that made it seem boring to me. I only got a couple of chapters in before I set it down and didn't touch it again. That is, until 8th grade. We were assigned a book project where we had to read 2 similar books and compare them. I knew I had the Percy Jackson series at home. They were similar books, so I decided I would read the first 2 books for the project. I got home, started searching for the books because it had been a couple of years. I didn't know where I put them. I found the second book, and I found the third book, but I didn't find the first book. So I decided I would read the second and third book because who really cared? It was just a book series. I started reading the second book first, obviously, which sounds weird to say after I just said, who cares about the first book? But I started reading it, and I realized I made a huge mistake. This book series was amazing. I decided that there was no way I could read the third book before I read the first one. I searched my entire house along with my mom, like high and low, trying to find this book. After a while, I finally did. It's just thank goodness on that. And so I read the first 2 books, with the second one being first. And this is when I basically fell in love with the Percy Jackson series. I remember when I was finally done with the book report, that day I got home, I went straight to my room and pulled out The Titan's Curse, the 3rd book in the series, and I've never smiled so much for a book. I was so happy. I ran out to the living room ready to read, and my parents saw me, and I was just so happy in that moment. And I kept reading them and reading them. The 4th book, the 5th book, the next series after it, the sister series, Kane Chronicles. The book series has just continued to affect my life. And I have to say this because this is true. Rick Riordan is the reason I am a writer. He is the reason that I want to write books and tell stories and do this. I wouldn't be doing that without his books. So thank you, Rick Riordan, for everything you've done for me. Because you showed me that I was capable of telling stories, that I was just as good as every other kid like me in that book. This is why I love the Percy Jackson series so much. It made me who I am. I love you, Percy Jackson. You're the best book series there is. Until next time, see you later.